People, welcome to Omilia Sports. Of course, it's your boy Daniel Jarrett, and I'm here with a special guest. His name is Christopher Scott. We'll be looking at, or recapping rather, the Prefontaine Classics. So many things happening in sports overall, Chris, but we're looking at track and field. We had the national championships here at the National Stadium actually, a few days ago, and yesterday, today is Sunday by the way, but yesterday we had the Prefontaine Classics. Very spectacular performances. Let's start with that 100 meters.
Yes, let's start.
Men.
So, yeah, the men, 100 meters. Kishane Thompson just looking to continue to impress ahead of his world championships, his maiden world championships, of course.
Yes.
You know, Olympics was his first major championship.
And a lot of people for some reason are forgetting that. People tend to forget that was his first Olympic Games, and this will be his first World Championship.
I don't think people should give him a lot of flack. I think the pressure, I think rightfully so, and I'm going against the grain. I think rightfully so, the pressure is there. I mean, Kishane Thompson has run 9.7 last season, run 9.7 this season, the fastest in 10 years. And so you can't really fault people for expecting him to do great. Now, what I can agree with you on is the fact that they shouldn't give him flack for the Olympics. I mean, that was his first major championship.
Silver medalist.
One, and two, it's not like he lost by a big margin. It literally
same time, I think thousands
of a second,
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, so it was very, very close. I think that what you should now look to see him do is correct the mistake that he made at the World Championship, at the Olympics, because he did say that there was some things that he needed to fix. But you know, looking at the Prefontaine Classic, 9.85 from Kishane Thompson.
Previously coming off of a 9.75 performance at the National Championship in Jamaica. That was a pretty spectacular time.
Yeah, it was a great time. As I said, the fastest time since 2015, where Justin Gatlin did that 9.75 at that time.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. So,
wow.
You know, it's great to see what Kishane has been able to do. When they did interview him at the Eugene Diamond League meet, aka the Prefontaine Classic, he said that there's still some things he has to figure out, some mechanics that he has to figure out. And that surprises me a little bit, because you know, he's running the fastest he's ever run, of course, at the national trials, where he ran at 9.75, ran a great 9.85. Ataboldan said that he didn't necessarily thought he was being pushed at all by the athletes in the field. So I think if he's running 9.85 and 9.75, and he said there are other things he needs to work on, you could potentially see a sub 9.7 clocking from Kishane at the World Championships.
Wow, and I don't want to take away from the athletes who were behind him. Of course, we had Zarnell Hughes in second place, running 9.91, a season's best for him, for the Great Britain athlete.
Former Kingston College
standout who plowed this trade here in Jamaica as a youth, running for Kingston College during the Boys and Girls Championship.
And a professional too.
And professional as well, running at Racers, I believe. Is he still there? Yes. So Zarnell Hughes in second place. In third place we had Trayvon Brummel,
who was the previous world leader. Also running 9.7, and really and truly we can't count out Brummel out of that USA, the USAs that are coming up at the end of July into August. So we're really looking forward as track and field fans to whet our appetite as it relates to spectacular performances, because there's a Trayvon Brummel, and I also, hold on, I don't want to forget Akeem Blake, who ran 10.0, coming off of running a personal best at the National Championship. So really and truly, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing some spectacular performances from these athletes leading up to the USAs and also into the World Championship. So that 100 meters, thumbs up to Kishane. Moving on to the women's 100. Yeah, the women's 100, of course. Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who is the world leader at the moment, has run sub 10.8, 10.7, of course. That is the fastest. The 10.75 was the fastest into a 1 meter headwind, a negative 1 meter headwind. 10.75, of course, the Olympic champion from St. Lucia, Julian Alfred, who also, by the way,
plied her trade here at St. Catherine High, was at in the high school system here, was an athlete that many persons were looking to do well and has done well. Obviously, she's the Olympic champion. She got second 10:77, and of course our very own Tina Clayton, who is the national champion, ran 11 seconds. You know, would want to have run under that 10 seconds, but the story is that the slowest time was 11:1.
Yes.
11:1 was the slowest time,
and it was run by Sha'Carri Richards,
who gets a bye
yes.
In the 100 meters, just like Sharika gets a bye in the 200.
So what you're saying, Chris, is that we should not worry about Sha'Carri's time that she ran yesterday at the Prefontaine Classics, because she has a bye, so she doesn't have to go through the rigor of preparing for the USA's to actually qualify for the championships that are coming up in September. But Chris, I think Sha'Carri will be running that 200 meters, and so she will have to deal with the likes of Melissa Jefferson Wooden,
Gabby
Thomas, and also Anavia Battle, and many other athletes from the USA who are doing extremely well at the event and who are also seasoned as well. So we're not only looking at Sha'Carri as a 100-meter runner, but also Sha'Carri, who is going up against a very capable 200-meter field come USA's at the end of July.
I don't think that she's a 200-meter runner to me. I think she's a 100-meter runner. And in my opinion, if Sharika Jackson decides to run that 200 meters, she has, in my opinion, and I'm saying it now, she has nowhere on the podium to get. I think that Melissa Jefferson Wooden is very good. I think that Sharika, obviously, she's the world champion, fastest woman alive, the second fastest of all time.
You said Sharika a while ago. If it should have been Sha'Carri, you mean?
Yeah. So Sha'Carri, I think she might get that third place. I do have
at the USA's?
At the USA trials. I have Battle, I have Gabby Thomas, and I have Jefferson Wooden taking the top 3 spot. But I wouldn't count her to get that third spot. But at the World Championships, because we know that Stephen Francis says that Sharika's camp is not, Sharika's agent said they're not sure if she's going to run the 1 and the 2. She for sure will be running the 100, but she gets a bye in the 200 as well, because she's the defending world champion, 2-time world champion. But I believe if Sharika decides to run that 1-2, I don't see Sha'Carri getting a medal position any at all.
Well,
Let's
see.
That's me.
Now, looking at the 200 meters for men, we spoke about the 200 meters for women in just a little bit. In just a small portion a while ago.
Right.
There were no 200 meters for women at the Prefontaine, but we were just looking at it from a general standpoint.
And you still have Julian Alfred too.
And we still have Julian Alfred for that 200 meters.
Yeah.
In the World Championships, right? But the 200 meters for men yesterday, a world lead in that event as well. Letsile Tobogo 19.76. And what really stood out to me was the fact that Letsile Tobogo was coming off of an injury and went into that race and delivered spectacularly.
Yeah, I think that he, that's one thing that he craves, that he loves, to run down his opponents. I think that Brian Lavelle did a spectacular bend. I thought that Brian Lavelle did an excellent bend. Now, of course, if we meet that qualification time for the 4x1 for men, I think that as a technical director, I don't know who it is. The last time I know it was Maurice, who over there at GC Foster, who's the head of Sprint Tech. But if I am the technical director, I am not going to have anybody else but Brian Lavelle running that 200. I think he ran great off the curve, and I think Letsile Tobogo did a great job in running down the entire field, and Brian Lavelle, pleased to note that he was running in lane number 9.
Yes.
So remember, those lanes, one of those lanes was where Johan Blake actually ran the second fastest time in 200-meter history. So I think that he did a great job running the bend, but I think that Letsile Tobogo, that 400-meter strength from Letsile Tobogo, really did a great job. And
speaking about 400-meter strength, though, we're looking at the Trinidadian Jereme Richards, who has been delivering. Yeah, I think he also won a slam. Yes, and I think he won the Miami Slam.
He did.
Right? He won the Miami Slam, and he also is is a very good 400-meter runner, and he was on show yesterday in that 200 meters as well. He's a talent that I think that we should be looking forward to. The same Zarnel Hughes, who ran in that 100 meters, is also a very good 200-meter runner as well.
Fan Boule as well.
Fan Boule, and of course, Kenny B pulled out because of a slight niggle in his, I think it was his hamstring, but don't quote me on that.
And he also he made a post about it as well. So it's not like he just pulled out and said nothing. Of course, he made a post before the Prefontaine stating that he won't be running because of a slight niggle. Also, you have to look at Aaron Brown from Canada, who also ran in the race as well. Had a good bend as well. As I said, that I believe Brian Level had the best bend out of everybody, was in the lead, but I think all that talent, and then you have the world champion Noah Lyles. I think that if you add all of those things, all of those elements, remember Noah wants revenge against Let's Bogo. Remember, he lost that final. He came third actually in that 200-meter final. Kenny Bednarek came second in that beat him up, so beat him out to second place. So I think that overall, I think this is not all, and I think the world championships this year is some of the most stacked races. The 1500 meters for men and women, the 800 meters for men and women, the 100 meters for men and women, the sprint hurdles for men and women, the 200 meters for men and women. You need to strap yourself down, get a big box of popcorn, because in
that's
Tokyo,
exactly what I was going to say now. Because we're about to touch where the 100-meter hurdles for women is concerned. Of course, we saw Megan Tapper deliver spectacularly in Jamaica, 12:34, a massive personal best for Megan, and then a massive personal best, beating out Akira Nugent,
who is a record holder,
who is a national record holder, and Akira Nugent going to Prefontaine and running 12:32, I believe, and delivered spectacularly. Masai Russell, who I think is the American record holder, she was in that race as well, coming off of an injury that she picked up at during Grand Slam, and delivered 12:5. What do you think about that one?
I think it's just down to mentality, you know. I think that Akira Nugent, was happy for Megan Tapper, because I think Megan Tapper ran spectacularly. I think she worked on her strength, and that it paid dividends for her. But I think that Akira Nugent never let that bother her. She had the Prefontaine, the Eugene Diamond League meet coming up. She knew she had to deliver. She knew she had to run, and so that's another start field. You have Grace Stark, you have Toby Amusan, you have Megan Tapper, you have so many people. Kendra Harrison is still running as well. So you have so many. Masai Russell as well. You have Jasmine Camacho Quinn. You have Devin Charlton from the Bahamas.
You have some crazy talents in that 100-meter hurdles. And really and truly, I am actually looking forward to that 100-meter hurdles during the World Championships, and to see how it is that these women deliver in that same respect. It's the same thing for the 110-meter hurdles for men. But ladies and gentlemen, part two. Yeah. Oh my, so much going on on the track. So much going on the track.